Hi, my name is Lucas Astrop, and today I'll be talking about abortion. Now, this subject is a hard subject for me to talk about, mainly because the cruelty of this subject is very hard to take in. According to Women's Health Center, it mentions that abortion, the way they are able to eliminate a child that has not been born, and this is very sad to me because it's not just a clump of cells in a womb or something that is not considered a human. It's a child that has not been born. And when I was young, my mom did a speech about something about abortion when she was in school. And she talked about how if you could remember what happened in the womb, say that your mom ate something one day and then another day she was doing something else. You're just taking a journey along. And one day she decides to get up and go to the clinic and kill you. My mom did not get a good grade on that because the teacher did not like her report. But she said that it was worth it because she was able to change an opinion of someone. Because this is a tough subject to talk about. On procon.org, it talks about how it's okay to abort babies and that they're not actually humans or people that, because they haven't been born yet, that they don't have any rights, and that it's the mother's body that she is controlling. And this does not make any sense to me because when someone dies, what do they check? They check their pulse to see if their heart is still beating. So what determines when they're alive is when their heart starts beating. So to say that they're not alive or not legally human is outrageous to me. Unattended pregnancy and abortion worldwide talks about how it's okay to get an abortion because it doesn't really matter for the baby, which I've heard cases of this woman was raped and she does not want to carry a fetus that is a remembrance of what happened that night, which that is true. Some people do not want to remember what happened that night, but you can always have a child and then put them up for adoption, which that is where I got my three sisters from adoption. This is an area where if a woman can physically not have a baby and she would desperately want one, then she could go to an adoption area and get a baby. Because she cannot have them, this is joy that she can have, that other women can have as well. I've had my three sisters for a couple years now due to adoption, and they are joy to my family. They make everything else seem different. Now, the abortion clinic services RaleighNC.com talks about that the procedures of taking an abortion, of how they do it. I've heard stories of a woman was getting an abortion, and when they injected this fluid that dissolves the baby still lived somehow. And that baby grew up, and anytime she heard fireworks, it would remind her mentally in the womb of when she was being tortured from the fluid that was meant to kill her. She does have scars and injuries of when she was in the womb, and it did mentally scar her. Um, to go along with adoption, it's also not just to get rid of a child, but it's also to give hope to another family or joy to another family that they cannot receive that way. And this is my speech, and thank you for listening.